started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all of those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a couple or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie. She started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all of those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a couple or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm all wheezy and I'm all yucky. The dandelions are killing me, y'all. They're killing me. Damn dandelions. I think they're so beautiful, though. I really do. And stomach, y'all. Eating my weight here in these. Y'all, I only got a little bit of, they're not Tums. They're just antacids. It gets sent to me from Ohio, from Beefcake's family. I don't even know what I'm eating. They taste like antacids, though. They are antacid. I know that, but they're like they're ones that the Amish make, so they don't taste so bad. Um, and they really do. They're just tons and tons of peppermint, and that's good for your stomach. Yes, we are double streaming because I don't know if anybody's going to come up on panel. I wanted to leave that open. Don't worry about trying to get in there and MJD and try to do both chats. Just pick the one you like and stay on it. Um, when I go like this, look, it can't all be monitored, and that's okay. I've got both screens up. I can see everybody in both streams. Thank you guys once again for being here. Something very, very sad happened today, as most of you or all of you probably know. Um, and they're calling it the worst mass shooting in 2 years in America. Uh, Sadly, there were 8 children that were massacred today, and early morning hours of this morning between 5 and 6 o'clock. For the last about probably 2 hours, I've been digging deep, trying to find out exactly what's going on here, like what could have caused this. There hasn't been a whole lot that has been reported since I jumped off my live earlier, but I did find a few things. I want to thank those that were in chat earlier because literally I went live as soon as I heard about it, and literally we were unboxing this thing right here as it was happening, and that takes a lot of work. And I just am appreciative to my mods and to those that were in chat today that were helping me pull up stuff and figure out what was going on. It was coming in all directions, and those kind of lives are really hard to do. So I thank you for that. I really do. Um, you know, I mean, this is all of our channel. We find your place here, get involved, come down and have a chat. That's all you want to do is just chat. That's all you want to do is sit up in the naked bushes, sit back, grab you a coffee, and just do that. But there's a place for everybody here. On the screen, you guys, I in the last couple of hours since I have been off, the names have been released of the children with their ages. It was first reported that these children were between the ages of 1 to 14. Now, as more has come out, they have been identified from the coroner. So this is coming straight out from the coroner, the names on the screen. Now, I will tell you this. It's still being reported that only 7 of these children actually belong to I'm just calling him the killer. That's what he is. 7 of these. Only 2 of them I noticed carried his last name. I thought when they first were talking about this that all of the children belong to the same mother. I have since found out that is not true. And like I said, I've got tons of tabs opened up so we can do some deep diving in this together. But the names are on the screen, and God bless them. We also know that there's another child involved in this, and I've got a report on him as well. He somehow got his leg broken in this whole ordeal. So thank God he got out alive. But the names, you guys, are Jayla, who was 3, Shayla, who was 5, Kayla, who was 6, Layla, who was 7. Oh, Jesus, please don't let me mess up these names. Markaden, who was 10, Soraya. Oh, that's a beautiful name, isn't it? Soraya. She was 11. Kedar or Kedarian was 6 years old, and Braylon was 5 years old. These do come from different mothers. I think there's 2 or 3 of them altogether, and I'm guessing the one that got his leg broken was probably, I don't know yet, probably one of the children that was his as well. We do know that it's saying that one of the kids was actually not his, that it was it what they were reporting, that it was like a neighborhood kid or a friend of the family, but obviously maybe it's a, a step. Maybe it just doesn't, that child does not belong to him, but obviously by looking at the last names, uh, it's this child is related. So good to see everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. I just wanted to start off the stream just saying their names. And I looked for some information, tried to find out about the two women who were actually shot. I couldn't find anything, but like I said, I only worked on it for about 2 hours. It's a lot, you guys. There's a lot. And so maybe you guys know all about everything that's already happened. Maybe you've already gone through everything that I've got. So if that's the case, I appreciate the view. Appreciate you coming in here and just having a discussion or taking a look. Listen, I'm floating our disclaimer at the bottom of our chat, and I'm sure one of the mods will go ahead and put it, float it into the regular chat for me. I'd appreciate that so much, just so we don't get in any trouble, because like I said, I've got a lot of stuff opened up that we will be talking about. So our fair use disclaimer, Copyright Act of 1976, y'all, gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. I have that memorized now. So welcome everybody. On your screen are the names of the children who were killed today by their father. At least 7 of these kids were. Some news has come out since then. Let me get this off my screen. A little bit more understanding of what has happened has come out. But I would like to start off giving you guys how I found out about this earlier today. This was, I got a notification, of course, from Mr. Pretty Eyes, Brian Enton. And then I was like, oh my God, just like the rest of you. I was just like, this cannot be happening. So first of all, I just want to play the exact same that brought me here to YouTube to cover this. Thank you, Mary Jane Doe, for putting our copyright disclaimer in. It is under the section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Gives allowance, is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All right, we're going to go ahead and just get right to it, you guys. I mean, we have a lot to cover. Thank you guys for being here. Let's go back to the very beginning. What I found out that I was like floored, like the rest of you. So let's start there with Brian Enton, what he reported today that brought us all here in the beginning, and then we'll get into everything that I have found since then that has gone on. All right, so let me hold on. I gotta find. All right, so let's share this first. Let's get to what brought me here today, what got me involved in it. It was Mr. Pretty Eyes himself. So let's see what he had to say. This is the first I had heard about it earlier today.
Guys, so there's just an awful story in Shreveport, Louisiana, where 8 children were shot and killed. According to the police chief there in Shreveport, there was the shooting. 8 kids are dead. It occurred early this morning, today's Sunday, and the children were killed. The children that were killed ranged in age from 1 to 14 years old. There were also 2 other people who were injured, including one who was shot inside of a house. There's still a lot of details coming in, but they believe that the suspect was the only individual who fired shots that resulted in all of these kids being killed. So one suspect, and according to police, the latest here is that the suspect stole a car and then went on the run after he shot all of the victims, was chased by police officers into Bossier Parish, I think that's how you say it, where the police ended up shooting and killing the suspect. So just awful, awful story. They have not determined the motive at this point, but there are 8 children who lost their lives. Hey.
All right, so we're back to here. That's how my day started with this. It may be how some of your days started with this as well. Since then, we did, I don't even know how long the live was today, where we were just digging and trying to figure out as this all unfolded during the day. We were live for a couple of hours, and then I jumped off and did my own kind of digging into it, trying to figure out away from the computer screen. So that's what we did. There was a couple things I did get figured out. First, I want to show you guys the map. We have the map pretty much well figured out of where the 2 houses were, where the car hijacking at gunpoint was. We knew where the killer drove to and where his life was taken. I just did not have it put on the map yet, like to show you how far this guy actually drove. So let me bring up our map right now, you guys. I got it all on there. Share this. Make sure you guys can see it is good. Let me try to make it bigger. Hold on. Okay, so you're just gonna have to zoom in, and I'm gonna zoom in and out. What I'm showing you guys, I've got 3 pins here, and they're in yellow. And let me zoom in just a little bit on it so we can get a better understanding of where this is. Let me pull back out. Okay. All right, so let me make sure you guys can see what I see. All right, cool. The yellow pins that are on the map, you guys, are where there are 4 different crime scenes that were being investigated. 2 of them, of course, were 2 different houses where the victims were shot and killed. One of them was where he the killer hijacked a car at gunpoint. I'm going to show you that place. And then where we know of at least 3 police officers took chase and chased him into a cul-de-sac where gunfire was exchanged, and at least 3 officers fired their guns, and they are being investigated by the Louisiana Police Department, State Police, should I say. So that's what I did. I pinned it on the map because I want to tell you how far the guy ran as far as driving, like where all this started from, where his life ended at. And then I want to show you how very close these 2 houses are. So let me pull up the map just a little bit further. I'm not seeing chat. I'm not ignoring anybody. Let me get in closer to this. You guys, this started this morning between 5 and 6 o'clock a.m. That's all I know. It was the early morning hours. We're going to keep going in a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. This yellow pin right here, it was just the first pin that I put in because I knew that the investigators were on this street. I knew it was West 79th Street. Okay, so that was the first pin I put in. Then we went to work. This is what I've heard. This is what I've uncovered so far that had happened. In the beginning, we started out over here on a house at 504 Harrison Street. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit hard to see you guys because of the trees over the house, but this house was actually on the news earlier today, not as the one where there were decedents in it. And we thought that the killer came over here and killed her first and then went, let me back up a little bit, over here to where this pin is at 355 West 79th Street. And we know that all the decedents were found in and around this house. So that's what we thought had happened. That's what was being reported at first. Like I said, it was a very fluid situation. They kind of had an understanding of what was going on, um, but how it all came about was not clear. Um, what I'm understanding now it might change tomorrow. I know there's going to be a press conference in Shreveport, Louisiana, tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm hoping to be up and awake, and we will be able to go live with that, and we'll be able to have the news on all of that. What I have found out since then is it actually started here in this house, you guys. We all had it backwards. So apparently, the two women were here with children, and I don't know if there was any other adults in the house at the time because uh, um, we know that multiple mothers were involved in this. Multiple mothers have dead children tonight, and I don't mean to sound um, cold or disheartened, but I call it the way that I see it. I I try to watch my words. I try to be respectful, but sometimes I'm just a leanie, and it comes out the way it comes out, and then so I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just not sugarcoating anything for you. This is a horrific, horrific crime. There are 8 children in the morgue tonight. And I understand this is only one city in the US, but this is the one that I'm talking about right now. There are 8 children in the morgue tonight. There are women who will never hold their babies and tell them they love them again. There's nobody to hold accountable because in my book, I've read some reports when I started doing my own digging into this, how people are saying, the police shot him, they killed him, the police killed him. No, that was death by suicide by the cops. I mean, I'm gonna bring it all up. The reports that tell you that he told the police to come and get him. Okay, so we're gonna learn all that tonight. Let's get back to this, you guys. This is where it all started, right here in this house, 355 West 79th Street. Apparently, there was at least 9 children in this house. I'm not saying they all lived here. I don't know that. I'm just letting you know who was at the house during the time of this. Why they were all here early in the morning at that time is just beyond me. I don't know. But the last reports I saw, again, was that everybody was here, the 2 women and all the 9 children. Okay. And I guess it's he flipped his lid, or there was a fight that ensued or something ensued, or something like that happened. And he ended up shooting the lady who lives over here on 504 Harrison Street. Okay. He shot her. Somehow she was able to get out. She left along with the child who ended up breaking her leg. I think that is her child, her natural child with him. I don't know if any of the victims who died today were her children as well with him, but I think it's probably pretty safe to say. Apparently him and his wife, who was the other lady that was living at this house, or the other lady who was living here, were having some marital problems. And tomorrow, which is today now, they had a court date to go in. I don't know if it's to start court divorce proceedings or child care proceed. I don't know. I don't know what it's what it was supposed to be. Maybe that's what set him off. Maybe, I don't know. I do not think he lived here. There were reports that says he did not live here anymore. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We do know that it's a domestic violence case though. So apparently, one of his, the mothers of his children and one of her children ended up getting out of the house. They ran over here to where apparently she lives at 504 West Harrison, no, 504 Harrison Street. was able to call the police and let them know that she had been shot. The police were on their way to this house right here, not knowing everything that had happened before. The police were on their way over here with the ambulance and things like that when either she said it or another call came through that there was more violence done over here at 355 West 79th Street, where all the children were murdered and his wife was actually shot. Now, what I want to also tell you guys is I said this is where all the victims that were killed uh, inside and around the house. The reason why I say that is if you were in my earlier live, we didn't finish it until the house was turned back over to family. And I kept saying, you guys, there's a placard on the roof. There's a yellow um, evidence marker still sitting over the garage on a roof. And I thought, I just found that, I just kept staring at it. And I thought, well, surely, because I had read a report earlier when I was live that there was a child on the roof and then there was a child who broke his leg. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this child is on the roof, try to get away from this person. And he ended up jumping off the roof, and that's how he broke his leg. And that must be where the yellow evidence placard was left after the police returned the house to them. Come to find out that's not true. There was a child killed on the roof. Don't know which one it was. I don't know if he climbed out of a window and just got up there to get away, get himself away, but apparently he lost his life on that roof. All right, so that's where this all started today. There are the victims. I want to show you right here. It was being reported. So this is 79th Street. You'll have to zoom in to see my cursor. This is 79th, West 79th Street. And this street right here is called Lynn. Oh God, what was it called? Lynn something. Anyways, they say that at that intersection is where the killer actually hijacked a car at gunpoint. So he still had the gun with him. I can only guess that there was a passenger, a car, the guy who was driving the car, he was going down the street, slowly, fastly, I don't know, maybe he was parked here, but they specifically said this intersection. Well, this is a thoroughway, so you don't see these stop signs there, but there would be stop signs on these roads here. So I'm thinking, just by what they're saying, is that he ran out into the road, stopped the car from driving at gunpoint, told the dude to get out or the female to get out of her driver's seat, and that's when the chase ensued with the police. I am backing out because I'm going to show you just how far this guy drove before he gave his life over to the police. And that's what I will say. And if you guys don't like that, I'm so sorry, but people do stuff. Hold on. Let me get out to where. All right. So he drove from over here where you could see my cursor, where all of my little yellow pins are, all the way over here to Brompton Lane, you guys. And we did see that on video. I don't know if he purposely drove into a cul-de-sac where the police, he couldn't get out. He was locked in by police, so it had to go down there. Or if he just didn't know this neighborhood and he was just turning streets. But I want to show you guys how far this killer drove. So let's look that up really quick from one of roundabout areas, you guys. From here to here. Oops, sorry. All right, so the length of this is, hold on. He drove approximately 11 to 12 miles before, and that's as the crow flies. You know what I mean? I don't know which way he took, if he was in and out. I'm sure he was. There's absolutely not a street that goes from this to this over here. So he probably was on the run a good 20, 25 minutes before there was gunfire that ensued there. So there is that, you guys. It's clearly a distance that he drove, and how he, I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't know. So this is the distance. This is, like I said, this is the neighborhood over here where the shootings took place, where the killer killed 7 of his children and someone else's child. And then he hijacked a car in the same area. Uh, However, he drove to get to the place. This is where he lost his life. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the street, and I can show you Brompton. Let's see. So this is the street that he drove into. I don't know which way he took, but he ended up coming down here, and guess what? It's a cul-de-sac. It's a dead end. So this is where it all ended. And I've got some video footage of the police here, and actually some body cam footage as well that it doesn't show the perpetrator or the driving or anything. They haven't released any of that yet. Not that I don't think they ever will. I don't know. But so he drove into here, couldn't get out. He at least had 3 police officers on his tail. There was no way to get out. So this is where it ended, right here. And like I said, I have got some footage for you on that. Hold on, I just got an alert on my phone. Okay. So there's that. I wanted to show you that. And we'll zoom back out. I'm going to leave this up in case anybody else wants to see it on the map as well. So we'll leave that there. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Ann's Place, hello. Detour, good morning, love bug. 13-year-old boy reportedly jumped off the roof of the home and was able to get away. That's what I had thought in the beginning, but I hate to say it. I've got a report that says that there was a child killed on the roof. And today, when the house was turned back over to families, I pointed out to everybody that there was still an evidence marker left on the roof. And I don't think they would have put an evidence marker of a kid up there that just jumped off the roof. The report says that a child was killed on that roof. So we'll find out, though. We'll find out. That's just what I know right now. About 30 minutes, a detour says. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, let's get this up. Let's do what AP. So you guys, my source for the next thing I want to show you guys is AP News. This is the latest that just came out. Let me see if you guys can see it on your screen. All right, I'm gonna make it to where you guys can see it better. Just give me a second. This is the latest that I found right before I went live that just came out. Man kills 7 of his children plus another child in the shooting in a Louisiana neighborhood. All right, let me do this. Give me just a second. So sad. I'm just going to play this and let you guys hear what I heard. Let's do that. Again, my source, you guys, is AP News, and this was printed, let's see, what time? Updated at 12:48 a.m., which right at an hour ago. Right at an hour ago. All right, so let's play this and see what it says. Watch. Sorry, I cannot control the volume and the ads, they're not mine. Let me skip through it.
The gray house is the house in which 7 children.
I want to stop right here. This is the second house that they were showing. So this is where the lady ran to, supposedly, that was shot, and the child ran with her, which I think is her child, and they called the police from here. So this is, we thought in the beginning this was the first scene of the crime, the first crime scene. It was not. They were all in the grayish blue house over on 79th Street when the shooting started. This lady was, who's a mother of one of his children, It was reported to begin with that that was his girlfriend at the time. It was not. She's a mother of his one or more children. So let's just keep going.
Children were located inside that were deceased. There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape the residence out the back on the roof. We want to thank LSP for coming in and helping, because this of them.
All right, so I just want to reiterate what Ann said, and that's what I had thought in the beginning as well, was that the child escaped via the roof out of the house, and this officer just said right there that the child was deceased on the roof.
House is the house in which 7 children were located inside that were deceased. There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape the residence out the back on the roof. We want to thank LSP for coming in and helping, because this is a large operation. We have 3 crime scenes just here in Shreveport. One of them is incredibly gruesome in nature, and it's going to take several hours to process. I know some of the suspect's children resided there. I'm not sure if at one point in time he lived there. We're working to put all of that together right now, because between the house on Harrison Street and these residences here, we know he had ties to both residences, whether that was romantic relationships or kin. We're working to put all that information together.
So the house behind us is where we had a very significant and catastrophic event this morning. Is where 8 children were killed this morning. They range in ages from about 18 months to about 12 years of age. Our officers responded, located the 8 individuals, the children that were dead, and they tried to provide aid where they could, but ultimately were unable to save any of them. There was a child that jumped off the roof. We were able to get him to a hospital, and he is expected to survive. There's also 2 adult females that were injured during this mass shooting.
All right, let's rewind that just a second. Hold on, because that's 2 different reports. And they put these together, you guys. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I'm at over here. They put these together in, if you look up here where do you guys see where my cursor's at? There is a yellow placard here. Right there, they had already taken down the tape. This house has already been released to back to the family. And there's right here is a yellow placard tape evidence marker. And I thought, what the hell? Why was that left there? People make mistakes. It probably wasn't meant to be left there. But I just don't know why they would put a yellow placard up there as evidence if a kid just came out this window and was jumping to get out of the house. But this guy says something different than the first guy said, and we know that they just made a compilation of things that happened throughout the day. So let's listen to what he said about the child on the roof again. Yeah, it was first reported this morning as well that these kids were anywhere between 1 to 14 years old that were killed, and now it has been reported, it's been updated since then, that the children are between the ages of 3 to 13 years old. So the ones that have been killed. So let's go back and listen to what this officer does say about the child on the roof.
Shot the mother of the child for
Hold on.
During this mass shooting. They are both in critical condition. We are hopeful that they will survive. One is significantly more critical than the other. So the suspect shot the mother of the child children first, then responded to this location and shot 8 children, 7 of which being his own. There was an additional child at this residence that was not akin to him. After doing this shooting, carjacked a vehicle just down the road at West 79th in Linwood, and ultimately our officers were forced to neutralize the suspect. You see,
all right, I wanted to stop it here because the placard is right there. You can see the window open. So the child had to have known something was going on. Very smart, climbed out this window. And look, I was saying it first things this morning as well, that surely this kid jumped off and kept going now. And that's how he broke his leg. I don't know now, because there's different things being said. So I want to back this up one more time. You guys forgive me, but I didn't hear him talking about the kid that jumped off the roof. Let's get there.
And they tried tried to provide aid where they could, but ultimately were unable to save any of them. There was a child that jumped off the roof. We were able to get him to a hospital, and he is expected to survive. There's also two.
Okay, so he said, so there was two different things that were said. The first one said that the child was killed on the roof, and then now he is saying that they were able to get him to a hospital and he survived. So we'll keep going. We'll see how this pans out. I don't know if this right here, this spot right here is, hopefully that is just a shadow.
Adult females that were injured during this mass shooting. They are both in critical condition. We are hopeful that they will survive. One is significantly more critical than the other. So the suspect shot the mother of the child children first, then responded to this location and shot 8 children, 7 of which being his own. There was an additional child at this residence that was not akin to him. After doing this shooting, carjacked a vehicle just down the road at West 79th and Linwood. And ultimately, our officers were forced to neutralize the suspect.
You see lots of people on the street here that are gathering for prayer and mutual support, and that's what communities need to do in this circumstance. It lets you know that evil still exists in the world and that we need to be fighting everything we can to overcome that evil with good, to shed light in the darkness.
All right, I think that it's very cool.
Today, our office is.
I think it's very cool, first of all, that their mayor is out there. I think that's cool. Let me go ahead. Like I said, this was updated an hour ago. Welcome everybody who is in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to read it because this has been updated since they put those videos up. So Shreveport, Louisiana. A Louisiana father fatally shot 8 children, including 7 of his own, in an attack on his family's Sunday morning that stretched across 2 houses in a Shreveport neighborhood, left shaken by one of the nation's deadliest mass shootings in recent years, police said. 2 women, including the gunman's wife, who was the mother of their children, were also shot and critically wounded, according to the Shreveport Police Department spokesperson, Chris Bordelon. I hope I'm saying his name right. Officials said the children who were killed in the same house ranged in age from 3 to 11 years old. The gunman, identified as 31-year-old Shamar Elkins, died after police pursuit that ended with officers firing on him, according to Bordelon. That's a hard name. Authorities did not say what may have set off the violence, but Bordelon said detectives were confident the shooting was entirely a domestic incident. The attack was the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. in more than 2 years. I just don't know what to say. My heart is taken back, said the police chief, Wayne Smith. I cannot begin to imagine how such an event could occur. Bordelon said the police were familiar with Elkins, who had been arrested in 2019 on a firearms case, but he said officials were not aware of any other domestic violence issues. Again, this is just showing you where the 2 homes are here. Police said the attacks began before sunrise in a neighborhood south of downtown Shreveport, when the suspect shot a woman at one home and then drove to the other location where this heinous act was carried out. 7 children were killed inside the second house, and one was found dead on the roof after trying to escape, Bordelon said. Another child jumped off the roof and was expected to survive after being taken to the hospital. See, 7 children were killed inside the second house. One was found dead on the roof after apparently trying to escape. Bordelon said another child jumped off the roof and was okay. So now we're hearing that there were actually 2 children that climbed out of that window. One was left dead on the roof, and the other one escaped with a broken leg. State Representative Tammy Phelps said that some children tried to get away through the back door, I can't even imagine what the police officers, first responders actually dealt with when they got here today, she said at a news conference. Wow. So they were trying to leave out, I mean, they were just scattering, gunshot, gunfire everywhere. They were scattering. So children actually passed, were killed right in that doorway, trying to get out through the back door. This is terrible. Family members say suspect was separating from his wife. The victims were 3 boys and 5 girls, according to the Cato Parish coroner's office. Shamar Elkins and his wife were in the middle of separating and due in court Monday, which is today. We're going into Monday now. Said Crystal Brown, who is a cousin of one of the wounded women. Brown said the couple had been arguing about the separation before the shooting. He murdered his children, Brown said. He shot his wife. Elkins shared 4 children with his wife, 3 children with another woman who lived close by and was also shot, according to Brown. All the children were together at one house. Brown described all the children as happy kids, very friendly and very sweet. A neighbor wakes up to a mass shooting. Liza Deming, who lives 2 houses down from where most of the victims were shot, said her security camera captured a video of the suspect running away along with the sound of 2 shots. That's pretty much all I saw was him running out of the house and the cars leaving, she said. Deming later went outside and saw the covered body of a child on the home's roof. Sad, y'all. Such a shame. Such a shame. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. Aussie True Crime. Good to see you. Ruth. Good to see you. We're going to get into that as well as far as his mental problems as well. Could you imagine that baby on the roof? Oh, listen, they're all babies to me. Pastor Marty T. Johnson Sr. of nearby St. Gabriel Community Baptist Church, who owns one of the homes where the shootings occurred. Oh my gosh. Where the shootings occurred, said a person who works for him had rented it to the family, but he never had dealings with them. So this is one of the houses right here. This is the house that most of the people, that everybody was killed at. All of the children were killed in and around this home right here. It says a vehicle parked outside one of the locations of the mass shooting. So this is the one where everybody was shot. And then the other lady that was in the home that was shot as well lives in this home on Harrison Street, just 2 blocks over. So those are the 2 houses in question. What began as a domestic dispute ended in an irreversible harm, the parish's district attorney's office said in a statement. This is a picture. It says people are comforting each other outside the scene of a mass shooting. Shreveport is overwhelmed by grief. It was the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. since 8 people were killed in a Chicago suburb in January 2024, according to the database maintained by the Associated Press and the USA Today in partnership with Northwestern University. At a news conference outside the residence where one of the shootings occurred, officials appear stunned, requesting patience and prayer from the community as they sort through the multiple crime scenes. In this picture right here, a woman holds a stuffed unicorn upon arriving at the scene of the mass shooting. Right here, this is people comfort each other by the scene of the mass shooting. It's a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had, said Tom Arsenault, the mayor of the city in northwestern Louisiana, with about 180,000 residents. It's a terrible morning, he said. Hours after the shooting, mourners gathered outside the single-story house on 79th Street and laid flowers. One door appeared stained with blood. Later that evening, at a nearby prayer vigil, Kimberlyn Jackson joined the other members of the community who lit candles for the victims in a parking lot. Now we know right across the street from the grayish blue home that the victims were killed in, there is a church. So I don't know if that's where they're at or if they're at a school parking lot. I just don't know. She said it just makes you take your children and hug them and hold them and tell them how much you love them, she says. This is a picture of people coming and having a vigil, candlelight vigil for the victims. The story has been corrected to attribute the statements about the shooting to police. Spokesperson Chris Borden's, not the sheriff, not the police chief Wayne Smith, in correction of the ages of the children killed based on updates by officials. So if you guys remember, like I said before, that originally it was reported that it was 8 children from the ages of 1 to 14. The coroner's office has identified all of the bodies and their ages, and we are talking about children between the ages of 3 to 11. But it matters not, does it? A child is a child. All right, let's get past that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. At this point, you guys, I am going to show you the vigil and the prayer vigil really quick, since we were already on that, and listen to this. My source, you guys, is KTBS 3 News. And this is Liza Deming, who I just read some of her statements. This is her in the real, and I guess she's going to give us this from her point of view. So listen, watch your ears, guys. Watch your ears.
Like a artillery weapon, or with a, you know how they young guys would speak. It wasn't that, and that's what I don't know. So we need answers.
The Shreveport community reacting in grief and disbelief after a tragic Sunday morning domestic violence attack has taken the lives of 8 children. 2 women and another child were also hurt in the shooting spree. Police say this man on your screen, Shamar Elkins, shot and killed 7 of his own children this morning and a cousin before stealing a car and making a... All
right, that's the first we've heard that it is a cousin. So was he the uncle of the child that he shot? Because at first, well, up until now, it's just been said that it was a neighbor or a friend of the family that was staying there. So 7 of his own children and a cousin. Real nice guy.
A run across the river. It all ended with the suspect dead after gunfire in a Bossier City neighborhood. According to the New York Times, Elkins, an Army veteran, struggled recently with mental health issues and, quote, dark thoughts.
Live and on your side. This is KTBS 3, 9 o'clock news hour on KPXJ CW21.
Good evening, Arklatex. Welcome to KTBS 3 News Weekend. I'm Madison Edwards. That tragedy in Shreveport's Cedar Grove neighborhood tops our news this evening, and we now know the names of the victims in this morning's deadly shooting rampage. The Caddo Parish Coroner's Office says the 8 children killed were 3 boys and 5 girls, ranging in ages from 3 to 11 years old. They're identified as 3-year-old Jayla Elkins, 5-year-old Shayla Elkins, 6-year-old Kayla Pugh, 6-year-old Kadarian Snow, 7-year-old Layla Pugh, 5-year-old Braylon Snow, 10-year-old Marcaden Pugh, and 11-year-old Shariah Snow. Also new tonight, surveillance video showing the suspect, Shamar Elkins, running from the scene of this morning's mass shooting. Liza Deming lives 2 doors down from the deadly crime scene.
In the cameras, when I roll back, I see him running from the house after the gunshots came out, and later on he ran out the house. He ran toward the tire shop.
Stop it right now. Let's look at that again. Look, a lot of these things, I read them, but I don't actually watch a lot of this kind of stuff because I want my reaction to be with your reaction. So that's the first. I didn't even know we had that. I didn't think that they would. Oh my God, y'all, stop it right now. This is terrible. This is so terrible. So this lady lives 2 houses down. Okay, let me show you just with my cursor. I'm trying to think of. Okay, so this street, if I'm correct, this is Harrison Street because Harrison also has a church down it. And so when I was trying to figure out today, wait a second, I'm going to have to figure this out. It's on one of these 2 streets, but all right, I'm going to have to look at the map again, you guys, because now that I see this parking lot over here, this still could be the right church, but I don't remember this fence being here. So I'm thinking this is Harrison Street. This is where the lady ran to after being shot and called the police with the boy who made it off the roof and broke his leg. All right, let's keep going. You guys, I wish I could slow it down. I don't know how to, but you guys know how to find it now. It's on KTBS 3, suspect caught on camera. That's all you got to type in to slow it down on your phones for yourself. But oh my God, you guys, oh my gosh, these poor babies.
Showing the suspect, Shamar Elkins, running from the scene of this morning's mass shooting. Liza Denning lives 2 doors down from the deadly crime scene.
In the cameras when I roll back, I see him running.
That's him right there, you guys.
From the house after the gunshots came out. And later on, he ran out the house and he ran toward the tire shop.
And we have team coverage tonight. Daniel Brown shows us how some in the community are leaning on faith and the power of prayer tonight. KTBS 3's Riley Curry and Brenda Teal have been in Cedar Grove following every development today, and we'll get to them in just a moment. But first, we want to start with the community grappling with this unthinkable incident. My co-anchor, Daniel Brown, joins us live from a prayer vigil that was held tonight in Shreveport. Daniel.
Yes, Madison, the trap known as an establishment for good times and partying turned to a somber moment for reflection for several members of the community coming out for a prayer vigil in remembrance of those victims from the Cedar Grove tragedy. Today, several pastors coming out along with Councilman Alan Jackson to give their thoughts about the tragic turn of events on this Sunday here in Shreveport and reflecting on what's ahead. But speaking with the manager of the trap, Leon Bell, him and his wife, April, coming together, a joint decision to hold this prayer vigil is today.
Well, I was born and raised in Cedar Grove, so that was the neighborhood I grew up in. So I get it, and I just want to, it don't even have to be Cedar Grove. It can be Cooper Road, Allendale, Lakeside. All communities, all neighborhoods should feel the tragic of today.
They felt like this was not a time to party. This was a time for healing. This was a time for prayer. And this is time to bring the community back together. Him being from Cedar Grove, I applaud his opportunity. I made some phone calls. I looped the chief of police in just to make sure that we can all come together.
So there was also a call to action for several pastors out here to get out of the building and more into the streets to engage their community more. So maybe seeing more action from a faith-based perspective in the streets of Shreveport. Madison, covering this tragic shooting here in Shreveport. Daniel Brown, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. We appreciate your report.
They do feel like sweatpants, but I feel like they totally look like jeans. They do come in.
It's a tragic situation. It not only affects the Cedar Grove community, it affects our entire city to have something like this occur. It's not a time to point fingers or try to blame anyone. The blame is on the person that did it. But I do want to use this opportunity to speak for this community, many of whom were out here today and just grief-stricken by this whole situation.
Tragedy in Louisiana. 8 children were shot and killed, others left wounded in the nation's deadliest shooting in more than 2 years. The scene of the unthinkable crime being described as unlike anything most of the police force had ever seen. The victims of the shooting ranging in age from just 1 to 12 years old. 7 of the children were related to the suspected gunman, who is now identified as Shamar Elkins. The New York Post reporting that he shared a picture of him with his kids at church on Facebook just 2 weeks prior, over Easter. For more, we are joined by Taylor Smith from our News Nation affiliate in Louisiana. Taylor, what's the latest?
That's right. Good evening. Its devastation has absolutely rocked this community. As you can see, this is the aftermath. The tape has gone down. Investigators, police have now gone home, but there is still much heartbreak felt in this area. From what we see right now, people have been bringing in flowers and balloons to pay their respects to the victims. Police say they have now identified the gunman as Shamar Elkin, and they say that this tragedy appeared to have unfolded inside of the family home. They say that 8 children were killed, 7 of them believed to be Elkin's own. Investigators say many of the victims appear to have been asleep when the shooting began early Sunday morning. They say that 7 victims were found inside of the residence, while an 8th child was discovered outside near the back of the home on the roof, suffering a gunshot wound to the head. Officers say that the first call for help came just before 5 a.m. and throughout the morning, investigators were seen blocking off the neighborhood while officers and detectives worked through what police are describing as a very large and complex crime scene. They say that the children's ages range from 1 to 14, very young. 2 adult women were also shot multiple times and remain in critical condition in the hospital. They say that one of those victims is believed to be the suspect's wife. And
okay, I want to stop it right there, because what this news station has done is they have put a compilation together of okay, I see what street this is now, you guys. But anyways, let me finish this thought first. They put together a compilation of things that have happened during the day. So at this point during the day, it is still being reported that the victims were between the ages of 1 to 14. Now we know, as the night has gone on, as more time has gone on, that the coroner was able to identify all of the bodies with ages, names, and who they belong to. And we know now that their ages are between 3 to 11 years old. This is the street, you guys, right here, somewhere in here where he carjacked. I'm glad they got the shot. This is somewhere right in here is where he carjacked that car and took off towards his final death. Which was probably about a 30-minute ride, about a 12-mile high-speed police chase. This street, now I know where the lady is that actually has the Ring camera footage that we were able to just view. We see the perpetrator, the killer, if you will, because I will, running down this street right here, which is the street, you guys, that the bluish gray house is on, that all of so when he was running, he's actually running to carjack that car, because those kids and that house is already, everybody's already dead there besides the mother and the one child who did escape as well off of the roof. One child was killed on the roof. We know that so far. A lot of the kids tried to get out the back door. We did see a picture today where you could actually see the door and see quite a bit of blood on that door. So now I'm thinking, I thought at first that was the front door. Now, since we know the kids were trying to escape out the back door, that's probably where that's at as well. But I wanted to let you guys know that this is a compilation of different videos during the day, and as they keep going through it, we're going to get more and more and more information. So I just don't want you to think that we're putting out the wrong information. This is just what we had at this time of day. Look at all these police over here. Over here is where they had staged, like this is where all of the news reporters were over here. The house is right across the street, y'all, from this church. So it's like on the other side of this red over here. They had a mobile command center, big old bus, you guys. They had parked it right here to keep the news from obviously taking pictures of the deceased being brought out of that home today. And when the deceased were already on their way to the coroner's office and probably safely there, that's when they moved the mobile command center so that we couldn't see that on camera. So let's continue with this. Thank you everybody for being here. I just wanted to let you know that we understand that more stuff has come out since these, okay?
While the relationship between the suspect and the second woman have not yet been confirmed, they are working to get that information. For what now, we know that police say the suspect fled the scene in a stolen vehicle, leading officers on a pursuit into Bossier Parish. And during that pursuit, officers discharged their weapons, and the suspect was ultimately fatally shot. They say that this shooting spanned multiple areas from the home, and at one point, people inside attempted to escape by climbing onto the roof. Authorities say that the names of the victims have not yet been released at this time, and they're still waiting to notify the families. They also say that they are working to process evidence, and they are working to piece together what took place and what led up to this devastating crime. We will continue to keep you updated. Investigators are saying that police believe that Elkins was the only person who fired shots. At this point, the motive does remain still unclear. We will continue to keep you updated. For now, reporting live in Shreveport, Taylor Smith, back to you.
Yeah, Taylor.
Let me just stop it right there. I see a lot of comments in chat, and I usually just try to let them go. Anonymous, first of all, I love that you're using the name Anonymous, because you don't have enough balls to come in here under your real name and say exactly what you just said. You're full of shit. Take your stupid shit somewhere else. This isn't about race. This isn't about anything other than there are 8 children laying in a morgue tonight. And if you can't put your hate away for just 24 hours while these children are being mourned, then I don't know what to say for you. You're a sickening individual, and you need to fuck off. I hope one of the mods have already gotten rid of him, because you're pissing me off. Don't come in here with that shit. There are plenty of other YouTube channels that would love to entertain that with you. I promise you. Anybody is welcome to their opinion on my channel, but you're not going to come in here with your fucking hate. I'm not putting up with it.
In Shreveport, Louisiana tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.
Sorry about that. But, there's a time and a place for everything. And this is not the time, and it will never be that place. So sorry about that, you guys, but I handle things the way I handle them. Can't help who I am. All right, let's see. Did I finish this one up? All right, let's do some timeline. All right, do you guys want to see the surveillance video? Let's look at the surveillance video again. I am blown away by this. I didn't even know this was on here. Let me bring that up. I had no clue that they were going to release that. Thank you, 384. Good to see you. Let me see. Okay, so we played all that, right? Yes. Let's look at the surveillance video, you guys. I'm not sure where this is coming from or whatever, but it's 18 seconds. Let me make sure you guys can see it as big as I can get it on the screen. Okay, give me a second.
Where's that odor coming
from? Oh, sorry, not mine. This
All
isn't
due
mine.
respect, your garbage disposal.
Oh, damn it. I just will play it, but I want to, son of a biscuit eater. I'm just trying to shut it off. Son of a biscuit eater, y'all.
I wish there was an easy way to control that stink.
Hey, Hey,
Lord
your
have
wish
mercy.
is my command.
Who are you?
Your kitchen godfather. I'm here to help whack the mold, viruses, and bacteria building up in your disposal with my antimicrobial LED light. Bada bing, bada
All right, there we
boom.
go.
In sync.
All right.
Where's that odor
Oh, son of a bitch.
All due respect, your garbage disposal stinks. Who are you? Your kitchen godfather. I'm here to help freshen things up
Freshen how?
with my antimicrobial LED light. Bada bing, bada.
Are we going to play? The hell I went through all that for nothing?
I wish there was an easy way to control that
dear
stink.
God.
Hey, your wish is my command.
Who are you?
Here, let me try
Your
to find
kitchen-
something else real quick.
Where's that odor coming from?
Oh, geez Louise.
All due respect, your garbage disposal stinks. Who are you? Your kitchen godfather. I'm here to help freshen things up
Freshen how?
with my antimicrobial.
I wish there was an easy way to control that stink.
This channel hates me,
Your
y'all.
wish is my command.
Who are you?
Your kitchen godfather. I'm here to help whack the mold, viruses, and bacteria building up in your disposal with my antimicrobial LED light. Bada bing, bada boom.
Incinerator LED Defense kills 99% of odor-causing bacteria inside your disposal for a clean, fresh kitchen.
How can I thank you?
Forget about it.
Kill this dude.
Incinerator LED Defense.
So it's now
Where's
playing.
that odor
Oh, shit
All
on
due
a biscuit.
respect, your garbage disposal stinks.
You guys, this
Who are
is
you?
not mine.
Your
I'm
kitchen
probably going to
godfather.
get a
I'm here to help
freaking slap on the
freshen
wrist for
things
playing
up.
these ads
Freshen
because
how?
they're not
My
mine.
antimicrobial LED light.
If it does
Bada
it one more
bing,
time, I'll
bada
turn it
boom.
off. Finally. All right, this is the Ring camera. Let's see if I can get baby. Scared to touch anything and have that dude come back. All right, so it's not easy to see, you guys, obviously, unless you could blow it up on your own phone. But it shows the neighborhood where the guy drives the
Where's that odor coming
oh my gracious.
All due respect,
I have
your
to
garbage
stop this
disposal
mess.
stinks. Who are you? Your kitchen godfather. I'm here to help.
Okay, we've had enough of that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry about all that. That is not at all my ads. I do not. Am I frozen? Probably frozen because I probably got a slap on the wrist for playing those ads. They're not my ads, you guys. Are we still froze? Somebody let me know in chat. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know that you guys can hear me and we're back on this. It's not my night tonight ever, Mike, tell you the truth of matter. Look, I do the best that I can, and I'm not a professional. But anyways, those are not my ads. I do not monetize anything like this. I never will. All right, let's get back to this. So far, that's 2 Ring cameras that we saw, you guys, that I knew nothing about. Knew nothing about them. All right, let's see what else we have got here. All right, this one, you guys, hold on. Let me get rid of this. All right, let me pull this up for y'all. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, my source on this one is the New York Times. This was actually published on, I'm trying to look for the date or the time that it was published, but it's called Haunted by Dark Thoughts. Louisiana father kills 8 children. There is a listen on it. I'm going to see if it'll play because I think listening to somebody else talk is much better than listening to me read any day of the week. So let me see if I could get this to play. Oh God, if there are any ads that come up, they're not mine.
Haunted by Dark Thoughts, Louisiana father kills 8 children. This article is by Eduardo Medina, Christina Morales, and Johnny Diaz, and read by an automated voice.
Nice.
8 children were killed and 2 other people were gravely wounded in a shooting spree that spanned at least 3 locations in Shreveport, Louisiana, and ended with the gunman shot dead after a police chase on Sunday morning, the authorities said. The gunman, Shamar Elkins, 31, had mental health problems and had recently expressed suicidal thoughts, family members said in interviews. The children ranged in age from 1 to 14, officials said, and 7 of the 8 were Mr. Elkins. He shot them execution style, according to a spokesman for the Shreveport Police Department. Mr. Elkins also shot 2 other people, including his wife, who was hospitalized with life-threatening injuries on Sunday, officials and relatives said. After the shootings, the authorities said, Mr. Elkins took a car by force, and police officers pursued him. The officers opened fire and Mr. Elkins died, Corporal Chris Bordelon of the Shreveport Police Department said in a news conference. It is unclear if officers killed Mr. Elkin or if he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mayor Tom Arsenault of Shreveport described the killings in a news conference as maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had. On Sunday afternoon, friends and relatives of Mr. Elkins said they were processing the devastating toll of the killings. The police have not offered a possible motive, and their investigation is ongoing. In interviews, relatives described Mr. Elkins as someone who was recently struggling with his mental health and who was stressed about his relationship with his wife, Shaniqua Pugh. Earlier this month, on Easter Sunday, he called his mother, Mahalia Elkins, and his stepfather, Marcus Jackson. Ms. Elkins and Mr. Jackson said in interviews that their son sounded despondent. They said they could hear his children playing in the background during the call. Mr. Elkins told them through tears that he wanted to take his own life. He told Mr. Jackson that his wife wanted a divorce, and that he was drowning in dark thoughts. I told him, you can beat stuff, man. I don't care what you're going through, you can beat it, Mr. Jackson said. Then I remember him telling me, some people don't come back from their demons. Mr. Elkins hung up, promising to tell his children, dressed in their Sunday best, that their grandparents in Oklahoma City said hello. Ms. Elkins said she did not know exactly what problems her son was having with his wife. Records show that they were married in 2024. She added that her son worked for UPS and had served in the Army. The Army said in a statement on Sunday that Mr. Elkins served in the Louisiana Army National Guard from August 2013 to August 2020 as a signal support system specialist and a fire support specialist. He had no deployment and left the Army as a private. Ms. Elkins said she was not extremely close with her son. She had Mr. Elkins when she was a teenager and struggling with a crack cocaine addiction, so she left him to be raised by a family friend, Betty Walker. Ms. Elkins reconnected with her son more than a decade ago. Ms. Walker, who spoke to the authorities on Sunday but did not witness the shootings, said in an interview that Mr. Elkins shot his wife several times, including in the head and in the stomach. Ms. Walker said she last saw Mr. Elkins last weekend when his family came over for dinner. Nothing appeared off with him at the time, she said. I was getting up this morning to make myself some coffee and I got the call, she said. My babies are gone. Records show that Mr. Elkins had at least 2 prior convictions, including for driving while intoxicated in 2016 and for the illegal use of weapons in 2019. In a police description of the March 2019 incident, an officer wrote that Mr. Elkins pulled a 9mm handgun out of his waistband and shot at a vehicle 5 times after the driver of the car had pulled a silver handgun on him. One of the bullets Mr. Elkins shot was found near a school where children were playing outside. Willie Vasher, who used to work at UPS with Mr. Elkins, said in an interview that his children were friends with the Elkins children when they lived in Shreveport in 2024. Mr. Elkins appeared like a typical devoted father, Mr. Vasher said. The only thing that stuck out to him about Mr. Elkins was that he often appeared stressed. He had a bald spot on his head because he had a tendency to nervously pull out his hair throughout the day, Mr. Vasher said. Ms. Elkins said she also noticed that tic. All day I've been asking what happened, Mr. Vasher said. In recent weeks, Mr. Elkins' mother and stepfather had felt uneasy about their son, even as he appeared to signal some hope. He shared a prayer on Facebook this month that began, Dear God, today I ask you to help me guard my mind and my emotions. He sent them a photo of his family. His mother texted him last Tuesday to ask how they were, and he replied, Everyone is doing okay. On Thursday, Ms. Elkins texted, I love y'all. Give my grandson and my granddaughters a kiss from Grandma. Thanks so much. He never replied. On Sunday, Mr. Jackson got the first hint that something was wrong when strangers commented on his Facebook posts to say Mr. Elkins was the devil. Ms. Elkins took out her phone and read a headline that 8 children, including her grandchildren, were dead. Why God, she said, crying, why? Georgia G. contributed research.
No, that's terrible. That's terrible. I can definitely see more and more. Look, I said today on my live earlier, and I want to be completely transparent. Somebody had come into chat and was talking about mental health issues being the reason why this happened. And I am the type of person that, first of all, having my own, I have depression and anxiety, just like every freaking body else I know, and that I take medication for. But I am not the person who's going to automatically give somebody a pass or give somebody the benefit of the doubt that they are mentally ill and that's what caused this tragic event to unfold. I think that we too easily as as humans in living in today's world blame everything on mental health, and I am not a proponent of that. Listen, a lot of what happens in today's world absolutely does have to do with mental health, including some very tragic, violent things. I agree with that. But let's talk about just a second. Jodi Arias. She tried to claim being insane as to why she killed Travis Alexander. Not true. No, she insane. Yeah, she's insane, but she wasn't criminally insane. And then we went over. We have been covering the Gannon Stout murder. He was murdered, 11 years old, murdered by his stepmother. And she too tried to claim insanity for why she killed her stepson. Okay. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Some people are insane and terrible things happen, but I don't think that's the first thought that should ever come out of our mouth, ever. I think the first thought should always be like, this is terrible. This is a terrible event. People are hurting tonight because of this. There are 8 babies laying in a morgue tonight because of this. And then figure things out as we go. I don't think our first thought should ever be an illness. I just don't. I think it's used way too much. Way too much. I don't even know how to say your name. But you say it's terrible to say. I don't know what you're even talking about. You're talking about what I'm saying. If you don't dig what I'm saying, thank you for the view and stage right. Steve says, I want to be transparent, but I'm so fat you can hardly see around me, let alone through me. Very funny, Steve. Justice Jane says, so Mr. Elkins reached out to his parents wanting to unalive himself and then turns around and kills 8 people. Is that right? That is right. And I believe that he knew that the police would end up killing him. That's a real thing. But I will say now, listening to that and listening that he had reached out to his parents and said some things that he was facing something. I also knew a man, I never understood it, but he would have bald spots all over his head as well. I mean, these tiny little bald spots everywhere. And then after hanging out with him for a while, I realized what he was doing. He was literally pulling his hair out too. He would get nervous and he'd sit there and twist and twist and twist and then yank it out. So he literally had bald spots all over his head. from doing that. That is a sign of some sort of mental illness, and I will agree. We also know that he did some time in the military. And I don't know if he is suffering from PTSD. I also know that we all know that he was having some kind of marital problems, and that they were separating. So we know that. But I'm still here to say, I don't know what type of weapon was used in this. I don't know if a handgun, it holds 10 rounds. We do know that at least 10 shots were fired off, at least, because there's 8 people dead and 2 people laying in a hospital right now. So I don't know. Does a handgun hold 10 rounds? I don't know. Did he have to reload at some point when he, in this whole thing of running between, however he got between the houses, however, whatever was going on, maybe he had to reload or whatever, walk outside, kill one of the kids on the roof. Was there ever any time that he said, whoa, wait, hold on? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I have PTSD most of my life and I manage. The dude's name is a paragraph. Yeah. Some people are just bad. That's true. There are just some people in this world that are very evil. And I'm not willing to excuse bad behavior. If they want to take out his brain and study his brain, like we've done many criminals in this world, that would be a great thing, if we can learn something of it. But right now, we've got 2 women laying in the hospital. Prayerfully, they make it through. I don't think one of them is going to. The mother that lived in that house, I don't think is going to, sadly. But we do know that a 13-year-old boy also got on the roof, jumped off the roof, and landed safer. There would be 9 kids, 9 kids in a morgue tonight. And he's the only one that's able to talk right now. So they said that he suffered some injuries. They were not life-threatening. We do know that he broke his leg, and he was one of the kids that jumped off the roof. There were 2 that were on the roof. One of them was shot dead on the roof, and the other one was able to leave with the other female that ran from that house. Hi, Rose Petal. So good to see you, honey. It's because this happened less than 24 hours ago. And that's why you probably haven't heard about it, honey. We're going to get back into this, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So look, I don't know what was going through his mind. I don't know what happened. All I know is that he either failed himself and his children, or somebody failed him. I don't know. And as human beings, we want someone to take responsibility. There's no one left to take responsibility unless there was someone that should have been helping him with mental issues that didn't. But it sounds like his mom. I mean, what can you do? At least she reached out and she was, hey, are you okay? Good to see you guys. I appreciate you. All right, let me take this off the screen and then bring this up. I appreciate y'all being here. Will you do me a favor, double tap your screen or look for the thumbs up and hit that for me. I want to bring this up, you guys. This was updated 4 hours ago. This is channel 12, actually coming out of one of our favorite places right now. I think it's in Tucson. Maybe not. I think it is Cape. No, it's LA. It's Louisiana. Okay. Anyways, this is a friend of a relative of one of the victims speaks to KSLA, says there were no signs. So let's hear what she has to say. We heard what his mother had to say, that there were signs that he was struggling, and there were other people that said, he was so upset. He was, pulling his hair out literally. And he had a big day today. He was supposed to meet his wife in court as they were starting their separation. So let's see what this relative says about this. And let's just face it, people that have any kind of mental illness. Not everybody knows about it. We don't walk around saying, "Hey, I'm depressed. What up?" No, it doesn't happen like that. There are very few people that you talk to about that kind of stuff. So, and most of us are very high functioning, depressed people walking around this world, me included. All right, here we go. Let's take a listen to this.
Shack had a chance to speak with a relative of one of the victims who say that they never saw the warning signs inside of the home, and now the family is left searching for what could have set this off. Now, we want to inform you that the person's voice has been changed for their protection.
From what I know, it was basically a domestic dispute that went wrong within the household. And basically, I don't know, the suspect that caused all this basically went AWOL. We do not know what triggered him. We don't know what happened. But to do what he did to those kids should never happen at all. It's like every time I see him, it was nothing but smiles and everything like that. I've never really dove into the backstory of it to figure out what was going on. But they never ever showed like any problems within the household.
Just with the mayor or?
All right, you guys. So there's that. I mean, I don't know. But I do know that not everybody's going to be privy to your health issues. Good morning, RC. Good to see you. It is 5:30 a.m. this morning in Louisiana. Ignore me. I just come to bring some inappropriate comic relief. Yes, just ignore our Steve, a friend of a relative of a victim. That's not a thing. Right. Stand up straight. Right. All right. Let's keep going. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Let me share this as well. And then we're going to take a look at the map and pin that again, pin something that we need to pin onto the map. You guys, my source is, this is the Tucson one, our friends over at KBOA, another station we watch a lot of. Let's see what this has to say, y'all. Watch your ears.
Of News 4 Tucson.
And good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of News 4 Tucson at 9. I'm Eric Fink. An unimaginable scene of gun violence, all too real tonight. 8 children were killed in a mass shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana this morning. Police saying they responded to a domestic disturbance call with 10 people shot between 2 homes. The victims as young as a year old. The gunman shot and killed 7 of his own children. He was shot and killed by police after trying to get away in a stolen car. And NBC's Ryan Chandler is on the ground in Shreveport tonight and has the latest.
Tonight, heartbreak in Louisiana.
It's a terrible morning in Shreveport, and we all mourn.
After a shocking morning of gun violence.
Right now, we have at least 10 individuals that were struck by gunfire last night in a domestic disturbance. 8 of these individuals are deceased.
The violence breaking out just after 6 in the morning here. Authorities say they responded to a domestic call spread between 2 residences where they found 10 people shot.
The ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age to approximately 14 years of age. All of the deceased in this case are juveniles.
After that, police say the lone suspected gunman carjacked a vehicle and drove to neighboring Bossier City, leading police on a chase that ended in an exchange of gunfire.
At which point in time, Shreveport police officers did discharge their firearm, and that individual is deceased.
Families devastated.
To wake up and to hear this kind of news that someone would shoot 8 children, 8 innocent children, it's just unreal.
Authorities have yet to identify the deceased shooter or any of the victims, but say that some of the children are believed to be children of the deceased gunman. No officers were injured in the pursuit, which spanned several miles and 4 different locations across the area.
I think about this community and what this community has lost. And I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry.
That was NBC's Ryan Chandler reporting. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords reacting to the shooting on X today, saying, quote, "My heart is breaking for Shreveport, Louisiana. 8 young lives stolen in a devastating act of domestic gun violence. All of us should be outraged that we live in a country that routinely subjects our kids to such unimaginable violence. Our children have no option but to trust us to keep them safe. But our country is failing them every day. Both Congress and Baton Rouge have a moral duty to do better," Gifford says. Our leaders must act now. And for continuing coverage on the mass shooting in Louisiana, stay with News 4 Tucson on air, online.
All right, guys, let me take that down. Good to see everybody. Thank you for coming in. Cooey Lulu. Y'all, I did not know that there was a video of the killer running away from the scene. Now, where I believe what's happening here is that he has already, because we know where he's running from is actually the blue gray house where all of the decedents were killed at. And he's actually running away from it. So we want to, hi Coffee Galaxy. I want to show you guys that video again, if you guys don't mind, if you guys want to see it. I didn't even know this was out there. It's video camera footage from somebody's Ring camera or something. Let me bring this up. I had no clue when we were watching that video earlier that this is on there. So this is KTBS News, you guys, coming out of Shreveport. Obviously, this is early morning hours yesterday morning, almost 24 hours from where we're at right now. If you could see my cursor, the shooter is going to run on foot right down here where I believe this is the end of the block right here, you guys. This is actually where he carjacks a car at gunpoint and steals the car and drives about, what we're thinking, about 30 minutes away. We're going to show the map again about that. So let's take a look at this. This is we're going to listen to this article. It's only 28 seconds long. You guys pay attention, scroll in so you can see the perpetrator too. I'll play it a couple of times for you.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Surveillance video recorded on a Ring doorbell camera shows the suspect, identified as Shamar Elkins, running from the scene of Sunday morning's mass shooting. The footage was captured by Liza Deming's Ring doorbell camera. Deming lives 2 doors down from the deadly crime scene. I see him run.
Sponsor message, then we're back.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place.
All right, guys,
and with
that's
fast,
not my
dependable delivery,
ad
he's
at all.
stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Running from the house after the gunshots came out, and later on, he ran out the house, Deming said. She said the suspect ran toward a tire shop.
The tire shop is right across the street here on this corner, which is right at the intersection. If you're looking at this light over here, well, was that it? Hold on. So, wait a second.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Surveillance video recorded on a Ring doorbell camera shows the suspect, identified as Shamar Elkins, running from the scene of Sunday morning's mass shooting. The footage was captured by Liza Deming's Ring doorbell camera. Deming lives 2 doors down from the deadly crime scene. I see him running from the house after the gunshots came out, and later on, he ran out the house, Deming said. She said the suspect ran toward a tire shop. Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay, I don't know why it didn't play that through. Let me see if I can. Oh Lord, let me see if I can find. Okay, let me see if I could find Liza Deming's. Hold on, guys. I'm seeing if I could find. It was 2 weeks ago. You son of a bitch. Oh, Demings. Oh, with M's. Silly me. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can find it now. All right, let me see if this is it. Give me a second. This is annoying to me. I'm still here, guys. I'm trying to find the damn footage. I just had it up a little while ago. If not, then I'll play something else and I'll keep looking. Okay, you know what? Let's just go back over here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am so sorry that it's taken me so long to do this. But I had that footage up. I can't find it now, damn it. Let me see if I can get someone off YouTube that'll have it, that'll let me play it. Hold on just a second. Was it this one? No. It's just the same picture though. No. All right, you guys, I cannot find it again right now, of course. That's 13 hours ago. That wouldn't have been there. All right, let's go to this. Let's bring back up the map again. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Okay, so there's a pin we need to put on this. Let me make sure that you guys are seeing it over there as large as you can. I'm going to show you where the events happened, you guys, and then I will be able to pin that other one. Right now, I've got this kind of backed out a little bit. The yellow pins are my pins, you guys, of where this all took place at. There are 3 different crime scenes right here in this general neighborhood right here where this all began at and where the deaths took place. 2 of them being houses and 1 of them being where he carjacked by gunpoint. He carjacked a car, drove it. This is as the crows fly, you guys. I learned that new word a long time ago. Say no. About 30 minutes. Let's look at it again. Hold on. Let's add this point to this point. The length is about 11.1 miles. So probably about 30 minutes is what somebody told me in chat, because obviously they can't drive straight through right there, correct? They have to go down the actual streets. So even though that's only about 11 miles after he carjacked a car from, let me stop doing this, he carjacked a car from here and drove it through here. He had to go through different streets and stuff to get there. So we're thinking about 30 minutes that would have taken. Let's zoom into the neighborhood really fast, and we can take a look at real quick before we add another pin to this. This, of course, was the first pin that I had. I knew that the crime had taken place in this block right here. It depends on where you're at in the country. Some people call these, I live on this street. Some people say my block. I grew up saying my block. And this is exactly what we're talking about when we say blocks. Or when you hear the police say the 300 block of West 79th Street. Let me explain that to you guys for those that don't use those kind of terms. If you look at the houses, they have their address on it. This obviously is West 79th Street. I knew it had taken place on here. I knew that it was in the 300 block. If you look at the houses, they say they all start with a 3. So we know that we're in the 300 block. I knew it was this street because this is 79th Street, and this back here, even though it's still in the same block, it wasn't the correct street. So I knew it had to be one of these houses right here. One of my mods was able to come up with all the addresses for me that we were able to pin, and so she got me all the addresses. This is actually the house that had all of the killings done in it. All of the children were killed right here in this home, and sadly lost their lives to that as well. This is the tire shop. If I can find the footage from Eliza Demings, 2M. She has ring camera footage. They're saying about 2 doors down, so I'm guessing it's coming from here. She said that she saw him running from the home. You actually can, because we did view it. He's running down the street right here, headed towards the tire shop, which is right there, I believe. Wait. Is that the tire shop? Hold up, that might be a little bit different. I have to look it up. The tire shop is this way, but I know that he's running. Let me back this up so I don't make everybody dizzy here. He's definitely running down the street. This house right here is where Miss Demings lives in, and it's her ring camera that we're watching him run. He's running this way because the church is in the background, and we see him running like away from the church. And we know that the house is almost directly across the church. So this is one of the houses right here. It is believed that, well, we know for sure that this is the other house that they're talking about. This is 504 Harrison Street. Both of these women, now I'm getting different reports. The latest one came out was that this woman who lives here is also a mother of some of his children, was also in this house in the early morning hours. The last report that I got, AP News, that's where it's at. I just remember where I found the footage. Supposedly she was in this house along with his wife who lives at this house and their children. There are three, as you want to call them, baby mamas. Okay. That's what they call them nowadays. I don't like the term. It's none of my business. But two of them were in this house with all, at least 8 of his children. We do know that 9 kids were in this house though, because remember, one got away with a broken leg. 2 climbed out on to the roof. I can show you that as well, where one of them was killed actually on the roof. The other one was able to jump off the roof. He's a 13-year-old and managed to break his leg, but run away with the one of the other mothers that was there, not his wife. And they were able to get back over here to 504 Harrison. And actually, that's where the first 911, or maybe all of the 911s came from. Let's look at the distance of that. It's hardly nothing, you guys, but just maybe get a point as to, so it's 0.2 miles. Yeah, 0.2. So that's nothing. They would have, the kid with the broken leg, I'm sure is like in some pain. And we do know that this lady was shot in the head. So she went back to her house, which is right over here, we believe, and made the phone call. And that's actually where the police started to go, was here. And then either another phone call came through, or somebody told the police, wait a second, the perp is still over at that house over on 35 5 West 79th Street, and he has a gun and shooting everywhere. We also know that some of the kids were asleep during the time of the shooting. The age range that is now being reported from the coroner's office is between 3 years old and 11 years old, you guys. And they were the ones that were able to identify all the children and their ages for sure, because it was reported in the beginning that these kids were anywhere between 1 year old and 14 years old. So now we know their age ranges are 3 to 11. Doesn't matter though, a child's life is a child's life. It doesn't matter what age it is. So that's what I know so far. I want to add, I have to find out exactly where the tire shop is on here so we can add that, because I just like to know where everything is at. So there's that. Let me go back to APP News, because I remember now that's where I saw that door camera footage of him running down the street. That's what we were watching. This is it right here. All right. I'm just going to let this play through, you guys. This was updated at 12:48 my time this morning, which is now almost, it's about 2.5 hours long now, I guess. And this was the latest reporting that came out. Our source is the AP News. And let's go ahead and listen to what they have to say. They're actually the ones, I think, that are going to show us the ring camera footage of him running down the street. Or maybe I've got it down here. Hold on. Okay, let's just go ahead and play this again, guys, and see what it says. Let me stop it right there a minute, because I forgot to say this to y'all. Listen, this is a compilation of different interviews and things that happened throughout the day that AP News has put together. You can see how as the day progresses, the information starts changing, because more information is coming out. So we're getting like the very start of it all the way up to what we now know about this case. So I just want to put that out there. Hold on, I'm going to rewind that because I want you guys to hear exactly what he says there. Not doing that right now. Let me stop that. Okay, so that's that. Let me come down here and read this to you again. Or let me see if I can pull up. Maybe we've got. Yeah, let me just read this to you guys. Like I said, this is the latest news that I found. And then I will try to remember again about where I saw that at, where I saw the ring camera footage of him running. Shreveport, Louisiana, a Louisiana father fatally shot 8 children, including 7 of his own, in an attack on his family Sunday morning at the stretched across 2 houses in a Shreveport neighborhood, left shaken by one of the nation's deadliest mass shootings in recent years. 2 women, including the gunman's wife, who was the mother of their children, were also shot and critically wounded, according to the Shreveport Police Department spokesperson Chris Bordelon. Officials said the children who were killed in the same house range from 3 to 11 years old. The gunman, identified as 31-year-old Shamar Elkins, died after a police pursuit that ended with officers firing on him, according to Bordelon. Authorities did not say what may have set off the violence, but Bordelon said detectives were confident the shooting was entirely a domestic incident. The attack was the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. in more than 2 years. I don't know what to say. My heart is just taken back. Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith said, I cannot begin to imagine how such an event could have occurred. Bordelon said the police were familiar with Elkins, who had been arrested in 2019, a firearms case, but he said officials were not aware of any other domestic violence. Let me go ahead and tell you what happened right there, you guys. So he was arrested on a firearms charge back in 2019, where he had brandished a gun 300 feet from a school in the area. Something else happened. He got put on parole with an ankle bracelet, and then it was dropped. The case was dropped against him. So he's been showing signs of something going on with him, at least until 2019. That's not in this report. That's just a report I had read later. Police said the attack began before sunrise in a neighborhood south of downtown Shreveport, when the suspect shot a woman at one home and then drove to the other location where his heinous act was carried out. Now, my question for you guys is, if he was able to drive to the next house, why did he have to hijack the car if he already had the ability? He has a car at his ready, obvious. So why was there a car hijacked? I don't understand that. Like I said, this thing is still coming out. It's still fluid. There is a presser that has been put out for 11 o'clock this morning, Shreveport time, you guys. We're supposed to have a presser with the police. The police then maybe they can answer questions like that. 7 children were killed inside the second house, and 1 was found dead on the roof after apparently trying to escape, Bordelon said. Another child jumped off the roof and was expected to survive after being taken to the hospital. State Rep Tammy Phelps said some children try to get away through the back door. I can't even imagine what police officers, first responders actually dealt with when they got here today. Now, we do know that one of the children actually almost made it out of the house as he was shot. You guys, this is just me talking right now, not reading. We do know, and he was actually alive when first responders got to the scene, but they were not able to save him. Earlier today, when I was live as well, we did bring up pictures of the house and the back door, which I thought was the front door, but now finding out that some of the children tried to escape throughout the back door. We know the picture that I showed earlier today with blood all over that door was them kids trying to get out, and they were being shot right there. The victims were 3 boys and 5 girls, according to the Caddo Parish Coroner's Office. Shamar Elkins and his wife were in the middle of separating and were due in court Monday, said Crystal Brown, who is a cousin of one of the wounded women. Brown said the couple had been arguing about the separation before the shooting. He murdered his children, Brown said. He shot his wife. Elkins shared 4 children with his wife, 3 children with another woman who had lived close by and who was shot also, according to Brown. All the children were together at one house. This is me talking again. We do know that, so out of the 8 kids that were killed today, 7 of them were his own children, with the eighth one we just found out was a cousin to some of these children. So there's that. Brown described all the children as happy kids, very friendly and very sweet. This is Councilwoman Tabitha Taylor hugging an unknown person outside the scene of a mass shooting. A neighbor wakes up to the mass shooting. So Liza Deming, who lives 2 houses down from where most of the victims were shot, said her security camera captured video of the suspect running away along with the sound of 2 shots. That's pretty much all I saw was him running out of the house, and cars were leaving. So weird. What cars were leaving? What are we talking about? Weird. It makes you wonder, was anybody else in that house and he just didn't get to him? Hopefully the police will give us those answers in the morning. Deming later went outside and saw the covered body of a child on the home's roof. Can you freaking imagine? I showed a picture a little while ago, guys. You can see that it's a small 2-story house, and you could see like where he probably crawled out of. There are 2 windows that are on the 2nd story, and if you step out of the windows, now you're on the garage part of the house, and so that's and that window is open, wide open. So it makes me wonder if that's where the 2 children crawled out. Let's see, Pastor Marty T. Johnson Sr. of nearby St. Gabriel Community Baptist Church, who owns one of the homes where the shootings occurred, said that the person who works for him had rented it to the family, but he never had dealings with them. What began as a domestic dispute has ended in irreversible harm, the parish's district attorney's office said in a statement. These are, it's just said that people coming to comfort each other outside the scene of the mass shooting yesterday. Shreveport is overwhelmed by grief. It was the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. since 8 people were killed in a Chicago suburb in 2024, according to the database maintained by the Associated Press and USA Today in partnership with Northeastern University. At a news conference outside the residence where one of the shootings occurred, officials appeared stunned, requesting patience and prayers from the community as they sorted through multiple crime scenes, to which I showed you guys those on the map. There are actually 4 crime scenes. 2 of them are houses. One of them is where the carjacking happened at gunpoint, and the other is at the end of a cul-de-sac in Boise, where he met his fate with the police. And this shows a picture of a woman holding a stuffed unicorn upon arriving at the scene. And then this other picture shows people comforting each other by the scene of a mass shooting. This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic, y'all, I can't talk, situation we've ever had, said Tom, I'm going to screw it up, Arsenault, I think that's how you say that, Arsenault, the mayor of the city of northwestern Louisiana, with about 180,000 residents. It's a terrible morning, he said. Hours after the shooting, mourners gathered outside the single story. They're saying it's a single story, but you can look at the house. The kids came out the window onto the roof. I don't know. On the 79th Street, the single story house on 79th Street inlaid flowers. One door appeared to be stained with blood. Later that evening at a nearby prayer vigil, Kimberlyn Jackson joined other members of the community who lit candles for the victims in a parking lot. It just makes you take your children and hug them and hold them and tell them how much you love them, she says. And then it shows a picture down here of people lighting candles. And then it also lets us know that they had to recorrect this as things are going on. You're going to see where people are adding on to their stories to correct misinformation that came out in the beginning, and some of the things that that works for the police department that's been put in charge. His name is Chris Bordelon, that's been put in charge of giving all of the media press releases and stuff like that up to this point. There were a couple things that he had wrong in the early parts of this investigation, as we all did. So there's that. No shame, no hate on him for that at all. He was just reporting what was where they were at the moment. And personally, you guys, I'm grateful for that, because we've got too many, like the Nancy Guthrie case, right? Who we don't have enough information. At least they have got a person out here that's trying to keep us informed with what the hell is going on. Why are these babies dead? Why? All right, so let me get past this really quick. I wanted to see if I could find down here. No, okay. All right, nothing I can do there. We can go ahead and pin the map. The whole map is a crime scene. Hi, Tosh. Good to see you, love bug. Sharonda, hello. All right, we can go ahead and pin the map, you guys. I just realized that something. Give me a minute. Okay, so the yellow that you see on the map in front of you guys is my pins. Thank you. Big shout out to Lizzo, who was able to get us the addresses in pretty quick of time of these places. I'm going to go over this one more time with those that who just came in possibly and have not seen the map yet. This pin over here does not belong to me. It's these ones right here. The first thing we knew was that the decedents were in a house on the street of West 79th. And from there, Lizzo went to work and got me all the information that I needed as I went live, instead of like researching myself and then coming live like I'm doing tonight. I went live the minute that I heard about this. And so together we were able to pull information and put out what we knew until the crime scene was returned to its family. And then I was able to dig deeper into this. So shout out to Liz for she's really good about getting addresses to me real quick. So this is the house right here, you guys, this 355 West 79th Street. This is where all of the decedents were. This is where all of the children were killed. The last report, you guys, is that this is also where the two mothers, there's actually 3 mothers that are missing their kids tonight, but 2 of the mothers were right here. Both of them were shot, one being his wife, who I believe is probably the one that is in the worst condition, and the other one just being a mother of his children. The lady who has the footage, the cam footage, the ring camera footage, actually lives right here. You're just gonna have to zoom in and see my cursor, you guys. Lives right here. On the camera footage, we can see him running this way down the street. Now, when she's talking about he's running towards the tire shop, I'm pretty sure this is the tire shop. I'm going to have to do, now that I'm looking at it like this though. Anyways, he was running this way. The reason why I know it is because this church right here is in the back. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. Hold on. Let's see what this church looks like. I don't need that. I'm going to need your 360, sir. Let's look at that. Hold on. Let's get rid of this a minute. Let's take a look at this, because this might change things. Because I knew there was another church right down the street from the other home. I need to get closer to it. Right. So I don't know when this picture was taken. Usually Google Maps will update like every 6 months. It's interesting to go to Google, you guys, and look at your own cars sitting in your driveway. Let me go back over here. Okay, so this is the street that the second house is on, and the second house, y'all, is right here. I'm trying to get this back to where I need to be. Right there. Okay, so this house right here is where the other, not where everybody was killed at, but where the victim that left the house, one of the mothers left the house with the child who jumped off the roof and actually broke his leg from there were 2 kids on the roof. One was shot and killed on the roof. The other one managed to get off the roof, break his leg, and run to this house right here with I don't know if it was his mother or with this is where that woman lived at, one of the mothers. So let's back this up just a minute, because I want to take a look at, we know that between the 2 houses from here, hold on, let me back up. From here to here is only 0.2 miles, you guys, so that's not very far. But for a kid with a broken leg and someone who's been shot in the head, that's a long damn way to have to walk. Let me zoom back in, you guys, because I want to see what this church also looks like, because then I can tell which church we're talking about. Nope. Yep. Slow down, Big Daddy. Slow down. This right here is the other house, you guys. This is where all of the decedents are right here. I just want to pay attention to this and see if slow down. Yeah, that's still the church in the background. Okay, so this is the house right here, you guys, that that everybody was killed at. This is the house right here with the Ring camera footage on it. We can actually see him from about right here running this way. And you can tell it's the early morning hours. It's barely light out, like probably no light out. That might just be street lights. And we know that right here in this intersection right here is where he carjacked that car at gunpoint. So the tire shop, I'm still not sure about, but we do know just from watching the video that this is the way he was coming from here. I don't understand why the lady says that she looked out the window and saw him, or when she viewed it, she saw him. But when she went outside, that all she saw was him running and cars leaving the driveway. Just makes me think maybe there were more people in this house than we thought were in this house. Let me spin this around real quick because I want to see if I can. Nope, that's not what I want to do. What does this do? Okay, what does that do? Nope. All right, let's spin this around real quick. This is not today at all, you guys. Of course, this is an older picture of the place, but it still looks like this. I'm just trying to keep going, Big Daddy, keep going. I'm trying to show you guys. Okay, let's see now. Come on, spin it out. Let's go. This is an old picture of the house, you guys. Yep. So this right here, this house right here is where the camera's on that we see. We see him running down this way. I believe it's because he's running away, and right here we know is where he hijacked a car at gunpoint, and that's how he ended up over in that neighborhood, and he was shot and killed. Y'all, this is an older video. This is an older actual picture. And the reason why I say that is because I know for sure this is the house. And second of all, it doesn't have, that I can see, it doesn't show the shootout of the roof, and the art is really, really nice. So I don't know how old this picture is exactly, which is weird because usually they update pictures every 6 months to a year. So maybe the people who were killed here were not yet living here, because we know this house was rented, and they are the ones that cleaned up the lot. I don't know. But anyhow, there you have it, you guys. I hope that that makes a little bit more sense until we get to the news conference tomorrow that is scheduled at 11 p.m. They have a presser scheduled coming from Shreveport Police Department. Hi, Nolt. I'm in Seattle. Nice to see you. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Listen, will you just double tap your screens for me? I'm not going to keep you much longer. I've been here now 2 hours. So I've been doing a lot of live. I feel like I've been live a lot and I'm really tired. But if I go to bed now, I could probably be up in time to be live whenever the press conference comes on. So anyways, guys, that's what we'll do. I hope you gained something from this, some kind of new knowledge. The names are out there, you guys, of the children who were killed, names and ages that were verified by the coroner's office today. So we have that now. At first, when it first came out, it was we were told that the age spans were 1 year old all the way to 14 years old. After the coroner got got the children. They were able to identify them and identify their ages, and the ages now are being set at between 3 years old and 11 years old. Also, the other thing I wanted to just put out there once again for anybody that didn't hear it, there was actually 9 children in that house. Everybody was pretty much killed in the house. Some of the children were asleep. Some of the children were trying to make their way out the back door and were killed right there. One child that was making his way out the back door was actually still alive when first responders got there. They could not save him. He too was shot in the head. 2 children we know climbed out of the side window over the garage. One of them he was 13 years old. He jumped off the roof, broke his leg, but he lived. The other one, sadly, that got out on the roof trying to get away, was killed right there on the roof. So there's that. Not a whole lot that has come out since everything has gone on, but enough just to do a live over it. Oh, hey, Jamie, good to see you. You could rewatch it. I'm sorry, you guys. I am so tired. I mean, I spent 2 hours in, then about 2 hours doing some research before and fixing my map and all of that. I'm so happy that I've learned. I've always known how to do the map. I just didn't know how to put my pings in and, look up like distance and stuff like that. So that didn't even include the 2 hours that I sit here and went through everything and tried to get updates on everybody. So no updates yet that I have found on the 2 ladies that are in the hospital right now. The boy who did survive jumping off the roof, he did not sustain any life-threatening injuries. But my heart goes out to him because, first of all, he ran for his life, right? Then, right now, he's the only one that could talk about what happened in that house. Because the only other 2 people that were in the house that are still alive both have brain injuries right now because they were shot in the head. So who do you think gave the police all the information? That 13-year-old. So big prayers for the 13-year-old. That's a lot to have to carry at any age, much less being a baby like that. Watching your brothers and sisters, possibly your cousin, because we do know that 7 of the 8 children belong to the killer, but one of them is now being reported as being a cousin to the victims. So I guess that'll all be in the police report tomorrow as well at the presser. But for this 13-year-old who is the only one that's able to talk about this right now, my heart just breaks for him. I pray that he gets all the help that he needs and all the love that he needs. He's witnessed so much in his young life. I just pray angels around him. The baby who got away, yeah. Hi, Miss Santina. Sanita. Miss Sanita Michelle. Nice to see you. My heart's broken too. It's so sad. Hi, Linus. Genetic memory farms. We care for each other. The government and the current administration don't care for us. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you guys at that. Hopefully tomorrow this will all make sense as far as timeline, maybe why. I don't think we're ever going to really find out why, but timeline and, and then we'll have to deal with the funerals and the family, and prayerfully both of these ladies live and are able to. The sad thing is that, well, there's so much that's sad, but another thing that just gets me is we know one of them is in worse shape than the other one, more critical than the other one. She doesn't even know her babies are dead yet, y'all. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. The whole thing is so senseless and so sad And then the grandmother, we did hear from his mother, not directly, indirectly, who said that she knew that he had been struggling. He called her on Easter morning, which we know he went to church with his children on Easter morning. He left that on his Facebook page, and he left a caption there. His mother said that on Easter, he called her and told her that he wanted to kill himself. We also know a couple hours prior to the killings before, well, it was more than a couple hours because it was light outside. This didn't happen until the early morning hours of yesterday morning. He was on a one-on-one kind of little dinner with one of his children that he also had posted about with a picture of his child. He was getting him something to eat. It kind of sounded like maybe the child had been in trouble or something. He took him to get something to eat, maybe to talk about it. I don't know. So we know that happened as well. But we also know that his mom had texted him and asked him how everything was going. And he said, everybody's fine, la, la, la. And then she said, okay, kiss my grandson and my granddaughters for me. And she never got a word back. Tashi, there is some of that. They were due in court today, Monday morning. They were due in court. They were separated. I don't know if they were going to start court proceedings. I don't, as far as their like a legal separation or start court proceedings for a divorce. But yes, there was trouble in paradise. So you guys, let's just keep, there's a lot of people that have been directly affected by this, and it's a tragedy. Every time I think of someone new, my heart just breaks again, but I keep going back to that 13-year-old. It's a lot to carry. He saw it, he heard it, he listened to his brothers and sisters and possibly his cousin being killed. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have a good night. I will see you on the next one. Be good or be good at it. And you guys, this is my outro because I just don't feel good about playing my silliness when something like this is just terrible. It's just terrible. My heart's too heavy to play something that's upbeat. So this is my outro. Thank you to the mods who have been here. Thank you for everybody who came in and chatted. Even the ones that just sat up in the bushes. I appreciate all of you so much. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up or double tapped your screen, that's all I ever ask of anybody. Please will you do that for me? Just double tap your screen. I appreciate you so much. And at some point tomorrow, I will be back on with an update to this case. Love you guys. This is my outro. Good night.